In this video, you're going to learn a system to handle any project, no matter how large or complex. You'll need plenty of paper, something to write with, and some yellow sticky sheets. Oh, and bring a project to work on. My name is Crista Cloutier, and I am a compulsive list maker. Are you a list maker too? I love to make lists. It's one of the most powerful ways I know to get ideas out of my head and make them real. They say that the most successful people in the world share one habit. They make lists. I owe everything to lists. It's been a few years now since I first had the dream of creating an online business school for artists, and through the creation of hundreds of lists and ticking off literally thousands of tasks, I won a crowdfunding campaign and then used the money to produce The Working Artist. It was thrilling, but that didn't mean that my work was over. It had just begun. You know how it is. You achieve one goal and it opens the door to a lot more work, but one thing that I learned was that not everything needs to be done now. Some things can be tackled next, and others can be put off until later. So I found myself there, asking, what's next? But there were too many pieces, too many lists, too many tasks. Where should I begin? Have you ever suffered from overwhelm? It sucks, doesn't it? So there I was, standing right at the corner of overwhelm and freaking out when I visited my brother over the Christmas holidays. My brother saw my suffering, and when I described my problem, he just laughed. Crista, do you know what I do for a living? I help the military put planning systems into place. I can help you. What you need is the military planning approach. Then he took me step by step through the military planning approach, and suddenly the way forward became clear. This was brilliant. I took notes, drew diagrams. I was totally inspired. Who knew the military could plan so well? Once home again, I set about putting the military planning approach to work on the next session of The Working Artist. I pulled out all of my notes and prepared to dig in. But then I realized that instead of taking the notes from my brother's house, I'd accidentally grabbed my nephew's calculus homework instead. Crap. Stay calm, I told myself. You haven't stopped thinking about the military planning approach ever since he taught it to you. You can totally do this. And so I did, and it worked. Everything fit. I could see my way forward again. I shared it with an artist friend, and then another, and everyone loved the military planning approach. I started teaching workshops, took this thing on the road. It was magic. I called my brother to tell him what a hit the military planning approach is with artists. I took him step by step through the entire process just as he showed me. That's not the military planning approach, he said. Where's your mission analysis? My what? What about the course of action development, the course of action analysis, the concept of operation, and the transition to execution? I'd gone rogue. I'd taken the military planning approach, churned it through my strange artist brain, and ended up with something very, very different. And I hope that my system speaks to your strange artist brain as well. So here's a few initial takeaways. Keep a list of things to do. They have some cool online apps you can use, or you can go old school and use paper and pencil. But get your ideas and tasks out of your head and somewhere that you can control them. Remember, not everything has to be done right now. Some things can be done next, and others can be dealt with later. Just focus on the things that need to be done now. And finally, systems are there to serve us. If my system doesn't work for you, adapt it until it suits your strange artist brain. But putting a system into place goes a long way toward helping you gain control of your time, energy, and resources. So now I want you to pull out a big sheet of paper, and as you think about the project that you're going to be working with, let's look at all of the reasons why. Why do you want to do this project? We're going to push pause while you write out your answers. So I'm sure you found your own questions, but let's see if you can go even deeper. These are some of the questions I asked myself when I created The Working Artist. Maybe some of them will apply to your project. How will it benefit you? How will it benefit others? How will it benefit your other goals? What lights you up? What part of it would you do for free if they would just let you? How do you want to spend your time each day? What are you great at? Who will it serve? What other resources do you have? And here's a question. What do you hate? Identify what sort of things just fill you with dread and see if you can't minimize those things in this project. Now, get a new sheet of paper. We're going in. Let's create a brain map of your project. Write the name of your project in the center. Now, using very broad brushstrokes, we are not getting into any specifics here. We're thinking generally. Write everything that has to be done or decided for the successful completion of your project. And I want you to start every brain bubble with a verb, an action word. Let me give you an example. An artist came to me and said he wanted to start a podcast. We used broad brushstrokes as we noted that he needed to build an audience, to research podcasts, to identify an audience, curate content, buy equipment, write an editorial calendar, create a marketing plan. Do you see how every task begins with a verb and how we kept it really broad? Now it's your turn. Push pause and go ahead and start your brain map. After you've created your brain map, pull out another sheet of paper. I want you to make a separate brain map for every single verb that you wrote around your project. You no longer need to lead with verbs, but now you can go deeper. Follow every single task, every single decision. Break each one down to the teeniest, tiniest steps. Here's an example from the podcast brain map for building a website. This is going to take some time, so go deep. Get into it. Well done. Pull out a new sheet of paper and make 3 lines across. Label them now, next, and later. Return to your brain maps and look at every single task and decision you have. You'll find them at the end of every bubble. Write each one on a sticky, and without overthinking it, I want you to place each sticky on your new sheet under now, next, or later. Don't worry about the specific order yet. Just work intuitively and quickly. Once you've got your stickies on the correct lines, organize only the stickies you placed on the now line. Put them in an order of priority. Voila! This is your list of things to do. You don't need to worry about what's next or what you have to do later. Just deal with now. And if you come to a sticky that overwhelms you or gives you reason to pause, make a brain map of it. Break it down even further. Everything works best in baby steps. One last note. If you find yourself procrastinating, I always recommend asking yourself 2 questions. The first is, what am I afraid of? Is it fear that stops you? There's only one cure for fear. Keep moving. Just take baby steps. Don't look up. Just keep moving forward, one day at a time. But what if it's not fear that makes you procrastinate? Then the next question is, do you really, really want to do this project? Because if you don't, if your heart isn't in it, if you're buying into other people's ideas of success, then maybe you should do something else. Chase the dream that does have meaning. But if you're still with me and you're ready to see this project through, pull out a new sheet of paper and ask yourself, can I successfully complete this project? And I want you to write down 5 reasons why you can. Push pause and write down those reasons. So now it's time to close your eyes. Go on, close your eyes. I'm serious. I can see you. Close your eyes and envision yourself completing your project. See yourself having already accomplished all of the tasks, making all of the decisions. See how completing this project successfully has changed who you are, how it's influenced your life. Really see it. Now smile at it. I'm serious. Smile and own it. You've got this. It's yours. All you have to do is pick up a yellow sticky and get started. Congratulations on your success. Now here's a quick recap on my project planning for Artist Brains method. Number 1, identify your project. Number 2, brain map the whys of why you want to do it. Number 3, brain map the tasks using broad brushstrokes and leading with verbs. Number 4, create a brain map of each verb and break them down to the smallest tasks. Number 5, create a sticky for every single task. Number 6, place each sticky on now, next, or later. Number 7, organize the tasks you need to focus on now. I use this method all the time and it works for me. Play with it and see if it helps with your strange artist brain too. Then take your dreams and make them real. Thank you for allowing me to share my process with you. Now, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Hello. Have you ever wished that you could sit down with a trusted mentor? Someone who, over the course of her career, has sold millions of dollars worth of art? Someone who's curated international exhibitions, run an award-winning gallery, collaborated with blue-chip artists, and introduced hundreds of new artists to the marketplace? Someone who's a working artist herself and totally gets where you're coming from. That person is me. And over the past 5 years, through my workshops, I've trained thousands of artists to grow their careers. And I believe that I can help you. Maybe the working artist is the game changer you've been waiting for. Listen, I'd like to teach you everything I know. I want you to be recognized as a professional working artist, and step by step, I will help you get there. Don't wait for the world to discover you. Show it who you are. Do it now.